Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto arrived in the world of fairy tale with a Sharingan? Part 1. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. Shinobi World. Forest of Dead Trees. This was going from bad to worse as the fight went on, and it seemed like things were finally coming to head. Itachi Kakashi was renowned as the copy ninja of Konohagakure no Sato and was thought to be one of the strongest shinobi of the village. But compared to the monster they were facing now, even he had to admit he couldn't possibly win. The organization known simply as the Akatsuki, a group of S-ranked criminals, had been hunting down Jinchuriki for months. Two of their members had come to capture Konoha's QB Jinchuriki, and Kakashi had led the three remaining members of Team Asuma into battle against them. Nara Shikamaru had taken on the one called Haiden, and the two had left the area. Now Kakashi stood beside a caught Yamanaka Ino and Akamichi Chouji as the Akatsuki agent called Kakuzu, a man whom had said he had fought the Shodai Hokage, himself readied himself to administer the killing blow. "This is it," Kakuzu said as the two white masks embedded in his shoulders charged up. "Kaiten. Zukaku. Futen. Atsugai. Amui," Kakashi whispered, and the Sharingan spun wildly. "Futen. Rasengan. Suiton. Hahanryu. Gufusuka no Jutsu." Naruto and Yamato exclaimed as they arrived on the scene and combined their jutsu into a single spinning tornado of water and wind between the two combatants. "What is this?" Kakuzu thought as his chest started to convulse and the space in front of him distorted into a spinning vortex. "Dijutsu, oh crap," he quickly tried to evade, but he was pulled into the vortex. "Oh shit," Naruto thought as too was pulled in. "Damn it, I can't properly control the position and size of the barrier," Space Kakashi thought as he clutched his now bleeding left eye. Naruto, his blonde student, couldn't escape the vortex's pull, and Yamato had already jumped back after his and Naruto's previous combination jutsu. Kakashi felt the web threads around him slacken, and he quickly broke free before lunging at Naruto in the hopes of throwing both of them free of the vortex. The pull was too much, however, and both of them were pulled in instead. Time slowed as the world distorted around them, and they both fell through space and time. Suddenly the two fell to the ground with a pair of echoing thuds. Naruto groaned as he pushed himself back to his feet and spotted an unmoving Kakashi a few feet away. Naruto quickly rushed over to his fallen sensei with a worried look on his face. "Kakashi-sensei, are you alright?" Naruto asked as he crouched beside the copy nin. Naruto Kakashi strained while lying on his back. He had used too much chakra, far too much. "Considering all of the jutsu I've been using today, I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did," Kakashi thought grimly. "Using Kamui on top of that must have drained the last of my chakra. I don't have enough left to live through this." He looked up at the face of his student and spoke. "Don't worry about me. Watch out for Kakuzu, he's a member of the Akatsuki for a reason. You've cost me quite a bit of trouble," Kakuzu spoke up as he walked out from the trees. "Your heart belongs to me, Itachi Kakashi. It's time for you to get your ass kicked," Naruto growled out with his back to the Akatsuki agent. Yeah, Kakuzu waved off the comment. "I'll have it out with you another time. You're too careless," Kakashi mused. "What?" Kakuzu thought as an orange blur descended from the trees behind him. "Rasengan," Naruto exclaimed as he slammed the spiraling sphere down into Kakuzu's back. "Damn," Kakuzu winced as he was blown forwards and slammed into the side of a nearby tree with an echoing boom. "Naruto, be careful," Kakashi rasped out. "I got this," Naruto said as he formed a familiar hand seal. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu." Two shadow clones popped into existence beside him a moment later. "I won't fall for your tricks again, boy," Kakuzu sneered as he stood up and his body convulsed, spewing more black threads, including some from his mouth. "He must be preparing to fight you," Kakashi spoke. "Charge!" Naruto yelled and his clones shot forward, only to be destroyed by Kakuzu's black threads a moment later. "He's using his shadow clones to gather data on the enemy," Kakashi mused as he watched on. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu." Naruto quickly summoned another 3 clones and had 2 of them start directing chakra to his hands. "I'll end it with this," he yelled as a bell-like screech filled the air. A moment later he held up a spinning white chakra shuriken with what looked like a Rasengan in its center. "What is that?" Kakuzu thought with a shiver. "So this is the power of the QB Jinchuriki. Well, the jutsu certainly befits the beast. Come here," Naruto yelled as he and his clones shot forward. "The clones are irrelevant," Kakuzu thought as he jumped into the air. "If this jutsu is anything like the one he used before, then he will need to get in close to use it. As long as I take out that jutsu and the main body, then we'll be over." He thrust out his black threads and impaled Naruto through the chest and arms. "I won't fall for your tricks." A second later Naruto disappeared in a poof of smoke. A shadow clone. "Wanna bet?" Naruto shouted as he and his clones appeared behind him with another chakra shuriken in hand. "I've got you now." He mixed his real body in with the clones. Kakuzu thought in surprise. "Futen. Rasen shuriken." Naruto exclaimed as he slammed the spinning chakra shuriken into Kakuzu's back. It spun wildly for a few seconds before propelling Kakuzu forward and expanding into a large spinning sphere of wind and power. Kakuzu screamed as his body was ripped apart until with a blast of wind, the sphere exploded. After the dust cleared, Kakuzu's unmoving body could be seen in the center of the newly formed crater. The number of times the wind slashed at his body was more than even my Sharingan could see, Kakashi thought amazed. What a magnificent jutsu, it seems he's finally surpassed me. Jutsu that were even beyond Minato-sensei are well within his grasp. Kakashi-sensei, I did it, Naruto laughed softly as he clutched his bleeding right arm. Nicely done, Naruto, Kakashi gasped out and slipped into unconsciousness. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto cried in worry. Just then he heard a rustle from the nearby trees and turned to see what it was. Who's there? He demanded. Calm yourself, young man, an elderly woman emerged from the woods with pink hair of all things. Sakura-chan? Naruto asked upon seeing her hair. Sakura. My name is Puryusuke, the woman responded. I heard the explosion and came to investigate. Please, you have to help my sensei, Naruto pleaded. He's dying. I will see what I can do, Puryusuke conceded and crouched down beside the white-haired man. Come with me, my home isn't far from here. Earthland. East Forest, Puryusuke's house. Truthfully, Puryusuke had only gone to investigate because she had felt an unusual disturbance similar to anema and wanted to see what had caused it. When she had first arrived at the scene, she wasn't surprised to see that the three combatants had already finished their battle. One of them was dead, and from what she was able to understand, the nucleus of every cell in his body had been destroyed by whatever had created that crater she had found him in. The blonde boy also had a similar but noticeably less amount of the same damage in his right arm, which she had bandaged up and healed to the best of her considerable ability. Finally, the white-haired man was on his deathbed, which seemed to be caused by the lack of life energy in his body. She had tried to augment his rapidly depleting life force, and he had regained consciousness, but sadly creating life was beyond even her powers. You're going to be fine, Naruto tried to reassure both himself and the copy nin, but Kakashi just chuckled at his words. I think we both know that's not true this time, Naruto, Kakashi leaned his head back and sighed. Naruto, I have something to ask of you, he gasped out as he looked up at him. What is it? Naruto asked with tears falling down his face. I want you to take my Sharingan, Kakashi answered. Sensei, I can't, Naruto started. Take it and use it. It's a tool I was entrusted with, now I'm entrusting it to you, Naruto, Kakashi interrupted. Please grant a shinobi's dying wish. You of all people should understand a dying wish, Naruto. Yeah, Naruto nodded, remembering another dying wish, though that one was ignored by the people of Konoha. Save your strength, Sensei, Naruto told him. No, not yet, Sasuke. When you run into him again, he may not be the boy we once knew. As his friend, I want you to stop him from falling even more into darkness than he already is. I fear what he may become if you don't stop him before that happens, Kakashi whispered, and the blonde pulled back. Damn it, why is this happening? Naruto cried. Puryusuke-san, my left eye, I want you to remove it and implant it in Naruto, Kakashi said as he turned his head to look at the elderly woman. Are you sure? Puryusuke asked, curious. That red eye of his must be something special if he was asking her to transfer it to the blonde boy. I'm sure you need to do it now, Puryusuke-san, Kakashi told her, and she reluctantly nodded. Kakashi didn't feel a thing as she numbed his eye socket, and suddenly his vision in his left eye turned into a dark void. Naruto didn't move as she repeated the process with him by removing his left eye and slowly inserted the Sharingan into the eye socket. Naruto blinked several times and covered his left eye with his hand. It's done, Puryusuke said finally. I leave the rest to you, Naruto, Kakashi whispered before darkness finally claimed him. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto sobbed as his master passed away. Puryusuke watched on silently, and after a few seconds passed by, she quietly exited the room, leaving the blonde boy to mourn his master's passing. An hour later, she returned to the side of Naruto with his head resting on the side of the bed, with red streaks down the side of his face, clearly asleep. She sighed at yet another death happening within her lifetime and pulled a small blanket over Naruto's still form. Perhaps there was something she could do for the boy. Naruto's mindscape. Jinchuriki seal. The next day, Naruto rested Kakashi's body on a small bonfire and set it ablaze as per protocol. Upon death and in the event that Shinobi's body cannot be returned to the village, it was to be burned to keep the body's secrets from falling into enemy hands. A week passed since then, and Puryusuke had explained to Naruto where he was. At first, Naruto didn't believe he could possibly be in another world entirely, but that changed when he confronted the demon within him. So my jailer finally returns, QB spoke mockingly as he watched his container approach the cage doors. I knew you would come back. I want answers, Fox, Naruto said with a glare. Where the hell am I? And how do I get back to Konoha? I do not answer to you, boy, QB snarled back. Do not ask questions to which you already know the answer. So the old hag was telling the truth. We really did end up in another world? Naruto asked. You seem surprised, QB mocked. Surely you remember what that master of yours told you about his jutsu. Don't you dare mock Kakashi-sensei, Naruto glared back. Even if he did give you that accursed eye of his, you are still nothing before me, QB sneered. One day this seal will weaken completely and I will break free. When that day comes I will devour you and I be wreak havoc on this world, and this time I will not be manipulated by those disgusting Uchiha. When this seal does finally collapse I will kick your overgrown furry ass and take your power once and for all. That's a promise, Naruto shot back and turned away. Just you wait Fox, we'll settle our score then. He walked out of the chamber and vanished from the mindscape. I'll be waiting Naruto, QB said darkly as its massive red eyes closed and it drifted off to sleep again. Earthland. East Forest. Uchiha no Jutsu. Naruto exclaimed and slapped his hand down on the ground. A large seal matrix spread out across the ground and a second later a large human-sized toad appeared in a poof of smoke. Yo Gamakichi, he greeted the toad. Bro. You're alive. Gamakichi exclaimed. When we didn't hear anything from you we were beginning to worry. Your friends returned to Konoha and reported that you and your sensei were pulled into his jutsu along with the enemy. That guy from Akatsuki Kakuzu, I think his name was, he's dead, Naruto explained. I'm fine, but Kakashi-sensei, he didn't make it. I see, Gamakichi nodded in understanding. I'm sorry. So am I, Naruto said finally. Your eye. Gamakichi trailed off upon seeing Naruto's leaf headband covering his left eye. Don't tell me that sensei of yours gave you his Sharingan. Yeah he did, Naruto replied. It was his dying wish. I've burned his body so no one else can get anything from him, he added. Anyway, can you help me get home? I could reverse summon you to Myabakuzen, Gamakichi mused. And then we could summon you back to Konoha from there. Let's do that, Naruto nodded. Jiraiya thought that you might actually summon us to get into contact with Konoha, so he wanted to speak with you, Gamakichi told him. Once I reverse summon you to Myabakuzen I'll then reverse summon Jiraiya and you can talk about what to do from there. Sounds like a plan, Naruto nodded. Alright then, Gamakichi said and disappeared in a poof of smoke. So you're going home? An aged voice spoke from behind him. I don't know if I'll be coming back, Naruto said without turning round. If you do I look forward to our next meeting. Uzumaki Naruto, Kuruyusuke spoke sternly and a second later Naruto disappeared in a poof of smoke. Summon Realm. Myabakuzen. So this is where you live? Naruto asked as he looked around at the strange toad village. Yes it is, a small elderly looking green toad spoke from ahead. I am Fukasaku. This place is really a separate world from both the shinobi world and Earthland where you found yourself sent during your last fight. How many worlds are there? Naruto asked the elder toad. Many, Fukasaku replied cryptically. I know of only 4 more. How many people know about this? Naruto inquired further. Just the other animals that inhabit this realm, Fukasaku answered. Our territory borders the snakes and slugs. There are also numerous other summon contractors in this world. Ours is one of the only worlds that allow travel between others. What about Earthland? Naruto asked. We haven't had a summoner in Earthland for centuries, Fukasaku replied. That's dragon territory, he added. Dragons? Naruto asked in surprise. They're real? Of course they are, Fukasaku shrugged. Though they may have died off, I don't know, like I said we haven't had any contact with Earthland for centuries. You sure had Tsunade Haim worried brat, a new familiar voice spoke up from behind him. Hiro Senin? Naruto asked in surprise. I heard what happened to Kakashi, Jiraiya nodded. And judging by the way your headband is placed I think it's safe to say you have his Sharingan now. Yeah, Naruto nodded sadly. I won but it was already too late. I have good news, bad news and worse news, Jiraiya spoke again after a moment. The good news is that your old pal Sasuke has killed Orochimaru. Sasuke killed Orochimaru? Naruto blinked in shock. Then he's coming back to Konoha, right? That's the bad news, Jiraiya spoke grimly. He's putting together a team of his own and appears to be going after Itachi directly. That idiot, Naruto gritted out as his fists clenched at his side. I need to go after him. And that's the worst news, Jiraiya continued. Tsunade Haim told me that if I ever contacted you I was to give you orders to send you into hiding. What? You can't just expect me to hide while Sasuke is out in the open and the Akatsuki are hunting me. Naruto yelled. Think about it, Jiraiya shot back. The Akatsuki are after the QB, and if you remain in Konoha then in all likelihood the Akatsuki will launch a direct attack just like they did in Suna months ago. As Hokage, Tsunade cannot risk the safety of the village over one man no matter what. You of all people should understand her position. Damn it, Naruto gritted out in anger and turned away. Fine, he conceded. I'll have Gamakichi send you back to Earthland, Fukasaku spoke up. You can summon Gamamaru to maintain contact with Konoha. I'm sorry Naruto, Jiraiya said sadly. I know. Earthland. East Forest hillside. At the edge of a cliff, overlooking a large forest and a pair of mountains in the back stood Naruto with the front of his jumpsuit open and waving in the wind. He breathed as his eye closed and he turned his head down to the ground. "So you're back," Puryusuka said from a few feet behind him. "I take it something came up." It was a statement more than a question. "I've been given orders to hide in this world from my enemies back home," Naruto answered her unasked question. "It seems like no matter how hard I try or how strong I get, I still can't do anything." "Are you running away?" Puryusuka asked him. "I don't run away from my problems," Naruto replied. "I face them head on and never give up." But Puryusuka trailed off. "I couldn't stop my best friend from betraying me and everyone I care about. I couldn't even save Kakashi-sensei," Naruto said as he brought his hand up and pushed his headband out of the way of his left eye. "My dream is to become Hokage, but maybe I've really been running away from what I really want." "And that is?" Puryusuka inquired. "To be free." Naruto snapped his head up at the sky and opened both of his eyes, revealing one ocean blue and the other spinning red. "I think you'll fit in well at Fairy Tail." "You old fool," Puryusuka sighed and slapped the green-faced elderly man now lying on the bed. "Hey," spoke Alzak in surprise. "What are you doing to our master?" "I mean the patient." "Biska," Connell added. HMPH, he rushed into things without considering his age and look at him now. "Really such a fool," Puryusuka shook her head. "How long are you going to stay here?" "Go home already," she turned and glared at the two Fairy Tail mages. "No, but we're worried about the master's condition," Alzak reasoned. "Please allow us to look after him," Biska added. "Go home," Puryusuka told them. "Those worried faces are like rubbing salt in a patient's wounds and take Naruto with you." "You want me to go with them?" Naruto asked from the side. "You were going to join Fairy Tail anyway," Puryusuka reasoned. "Now is as good a time as any, besides this wind magic. Metsu, it's a dreadful magic that depletes the target's magic power. Once the magic power is drained, it'll float in the air and eventually disappear. If we could have gathered Makarov's magic power as it was floating around, we could heal him faster. But now it's too late, it'll take a while." "Ah, is that so?" Alzak stammered in surprise. "We'll tell everyone," Biska added. "What are you still doing here?" Puryusuka shouted angrily. But we thought you wanted us to hear you out," Biska yelled. "Go away already. You humans stink," Puryusuka shouted as they ran out of the door. "Excuse us," Biska yelled back as she pushed her future husband out of the treehouse. "Good luck, young man," Puryusuka said over her shoulder. "Thanks for everything, Puryusuka Obichan." Naruto grinned as he followed after the older teenagers and closed the door behind him. "You've caused so much trouble since the old days for mages. Magic power is like their source of life. The greater the magic power you possess, the more Metsu hurts. If you don't try your best you could die from this. You really are a fool." Earthland. Magnolia Fairy Tail Guild. Fairy Tail, respected as one of the most powerful and crazy of magic guilds, was now a battered and nearly destroyed building. After the recent attack by Phantom Lord and the loss experienced when they launched their failed attack on the Phantom Lord Guild itself had all but crushed Fairy Tail's morale. To make matters worse, apparently it was the new guild member Lucy that was the target of Phantom Lord's client. "I can't believe we had to retreat. So degrading. We couldn't avenge our guild, nor Levi-chan and the others. Damn it. Their headquarters is here, so if we attack them with long-range magic from the southwest hill, we're bringing as many bomb lacrima as possible. Bring some powerful magic sheets from the storage for the mages." "What's up?" Still worried, Gray asked upon seeing the blonde girl's face. "No, it's not that, it's just I'm sorry," Lucy apologized with a pained face. "Well, daughters from rich families are destined to be targets," Elfman mused. "And it's a man's duty to protect them." "Don't say such things," Gray said over his shoulder. "But I'm surprised too," the talking blue cat called Happy of all things spoke up. "Lucy, why were you hiding?" "I wasn't so much hiding," Lucy denied. "But I ran away from home, so I didn't feel like talking about it." He didn't care about the daughter who ran away from home for a year, and now he suddenly wants me back. "Papa did this so that he can get me back. He's horrible. Though all of this happened because I ran away from home in the first place, right?" "It sounds like your dad's just an asshole," a new voice spoke up from the side. "Who are you?" Happy asked as they turned to the newcomer. He was a tall blonde with 6 whisker-like marks on his cheeks and a headband that covered his left eye and wore a black and orange jumpsuit. "My name is Naruto," the blonde boy said. "I heard about you," Gray mused. "I think Biska and Alzak said something about you wanting to join Fairy Tail." "That was the idea," Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. "Though, it looks like you're all having your share of problems." "Yep," Happy nodded. "Everything will go back to normal if I go home, right?" Lucy asked the question. "Is that so?" Natsu asked. "I mean, the term lady doesn't really suit you, does it? You fit better in this dirty bar, laughing and merrily going out on adventures. You said you want to stay here. What good would it do for you to return to a place you hate? You're Lucy of Fairy Tail, right? This is your home." She began to tear up at his words. "I've got to agree with Puryusuka Obichan's grandson on this one." Naruto grinned as he thumbed at the pink-haired dragon slayer. Ryusuke isn't my grandmother, Natsu responded. She isn't. Naruto blinked. But you both have pink hair and she pointed me to this guild so I thought you were related. The jury is still out on that one, Happy quipped. Suddenly the ground shook as the sound of a loud thud filled the air. What the hell was that? Naruto asked as he looked around. It's coming from outside. Alzak yelled as again the room shook and an echoing thud sounded. You've got to be kidding me. Naruto trailed off at the side in front of him. A large guild was walking atop the water and being held up with 6 large metal legs. That guild is walking. Is it Phantom? I never imagined that they'd attack us directly. Urza clenched her fists at her side as the water from her shower ran down her face and exposed shoulders. What should we do? Suddenly the main gates of the attacking guild fortress opened and a large tube expended from it and started gathering purple energy inside it. This is bad. Everybody get down. Urza shouted as she rushed forward. That's a magic conversion cannon. Are they trying to blow our guild away? Everyone get down. Urza shouted again. And Tsunade Abachan thought it was safer for everyone if I stay here. At least this place isn't boring, Naruto thought as he lifted his headband to expose his left eye. Urza? What are you doing? Hanso? Kongo no Yoroi. Urza declared as blue and white armor materialized over her body with a pair of white shields. I won't let you take down our guild. Adamantine armor? Don't tell me she's trying to stop that attack. Even though the armor is famous for its high defensive power. No Urza. You're going to die if you do that. Get down. Urza yelled at them. Urza. Natsu yelled as Gray held him back. Stop Natsu. We've just got to believe in Urza for now, Gray told him. Suddenly the cannon fired a beam of destructive energy at the Fairy Tail Guild and its defenders. Urza brought both of her shields up in order to better prepare to the oncoming attack, however everyone was surprised when the space in front of her started to distort. Tamui, Naruto whispered though it wasn't heard over the thunderous blast. He had created a large distortion of space and time directly between Urza and the beam, effectively sucking the beam in and dumping it in another dimension, hopefully not injuring anyone on the other side. What just happened? Naruto grunted and fell to his knee, catching the attention of an equally surprised Urza. Did you just deflect a shot from a magic conversion cannon? Urza asked over her shoulder. It's the first time I've used that jutsu on something that big, Naruto responded as he pushed himself back up onto his feet and removed his hand from his left eye, allowing her to see his Mangekyo Sharingan. I'm still working on aiming it right, especially against moving targets. He was able to deflect a shot from a magic conversion cannon with a single spell, Urza thought as she examined the blonde. He's strong though, I shouldn't be surprised if Ryusuke has taken an interest in him, but that was clearly an S-rank spell he used. Is he an S-class mage? When this is over I need to talk to him, especially if he wants to join Fairy Tail. Even if you were able to stop a single shot from my Jupiter cannon, a loud voice spoke from the guild fortress. You still don't stand a chance. Hand over Lucy Hertfilia right now. You're out of your mind. Alzak yelled back. Where in the world would you find a guild that offers up a comrade to an enemy? Biska shouted out. Lucy is our comrade. Mikoa yelled. That's right. Go away. We won't hand over Lucy. Even though the enemy is attacking their home, they still refuse to hand over one of their own, Naruto thought as he watched on. I wonder if the people of Konoha would ever do that for me if the Akatsuki attacked. Hand her over, the voice spoke again. We'd rather die than give up one of our comrades. Urza herself yelled and the rest of the guild roared in agreement. Our answer won't change no matter what. We'll take you down. Natsu shouted. I see, then we'll fire an even bigger and stronger Jupiter. Now struggle in this 15-minute terror until it's reloaded. The voice yelled back. You mean we have a full 15 minutes? Naruto asked with a grin which surprised everyone. That should be more than enough time. What are you talking about? The voice demanded. To kick your ass and save the whole damn guild, Naruto grinned. Listen to me very carefully because I'm only going to say this once. You may think you've got us cornered, but you're wrong because you made one mistake, you underestimated us. You can't stop us, the voice spoke clearly as hundreds of shadow creatures flew out of the guild fortress and shot towards the Fairy Tail Guild. You have two options: be killed by my soldiers or die by Jupiter. Impossible. Is he going to kill his own men with Jupiter as well? He's just threatening us, he won't fire it. Yes he will, Kana spoke up. That's Oze's magic Shido. They're not human, they're just ghost soldiers that Oze created. Ghosts? Naruto suppressed a shiver at the thought. He'd always been afraid of ghosts, and though admittedly it had lessened over the years, his fear was still there. We've got to do something about Jupiter. Kana trailed off. I'll go smash it, Natsu declared. 15 minutes, right. Kana silently nodded in reply. Happy, immediately white wings spread out from the blue cat's back and it grabbed hold of him, lifting him into the air despite the size difference and flying the pair towards the guild fortress. Ray. Elfman. You two head in there too, Urza gave the order. Loki. Kana. You are in charge here until I get back. She got a nod from the pair. What are you going to do? Naruto asked irritated. You and I are going after Oze himself, Urza replied. Kanso. Tenrin no Yoroi light encased her body as her armor changed shape and took the form of silver-plated dress with flower-like wings extending from the back. Can you fly? She asked the blonde at her side. No, but I can run real fast, Naruto grinned and ran forward, jumping off the cliff edge and landing atop the water. Race ya. He yelled and took off running on the water towards the guild fortress. He can walk on water too. What is he? Urza thought before taking to the air and flying off towards the guild fortress after her new partner. Earthland. Magnolia Phantom Lord Guild Fortress. The pair quickly entered the fortress and made their way through its maze-like corridors towards the highest tower where the guildmaster Oze Porla was waiting. They encountered a small snag however when they entered a ballroom and Urza was forced to fling both herself and Naruto to the side just as a blast of wind cut through the floor where they had stood moments ago. What the hell? Naruto thought as he rolled back to his feet beside Urza. This guy Urza mused and her face settled into a glare when out of nowhere a large man in a green trench coat and with bandages covering his eyes. He's the guy that drained the master. Urza Scarlet, huh? How very sad for your neck to be handed to me, the man mocked. You're the bastard who dared to touch the old man, Urza glared. Can you handle this guy? Naruto asked over his shoulder. Give me 5 minutes, Urza replied. If I'm going to be fighting the mighty Urza, the man Arya spoke. Even I have to take this fight seriously. He removed the bandages over his eyes to reveal pink eyes with wide X going through them. Is that a Taijutsu? Naruto thought. Come at me, Titania, Arya challenged as the wind started to spiral around him. I have activated the airspace of death, 0. This airspace consumes all life. Magic that consumes life. Urza trailed off as her eyes darkened. Why do you people find it so easy to steal people's lives away? You bastards. Now let us have some fun, Arya smiled as Urza shot towards him. I wonder can you survive this airspace? That's some pretty strong wind, Naruto thought as he watched on. Should I help her? Does she even need help? You'll pay, Urza whispered as she sliced her way through the wind with her swords. No way she's slicing up the airspace, Arya thought with wide eyes. Tenrin. Rairan no Ken. Urza exclaimed as she lunged and swung with her swords, cutting clean through him faster than the normal eye could see. She appeared behind him with her back to him as he dropped down onto his back with an echoing thud. She took him down with one blow, Naruto thought in surprise. Her speed was insane and what is up with that armor of hers? Master could never be defeated by the likes of you, Urza declared as she glared down at Arya's beaten form. That tail will never appear in your saga. All you fairy tale members out there, Oze's voice echoed across the battlefield. We have succeeded in capturing Lucy. You've got to be kidding me, Naruto growled out. Our objective has been accomplished, Oze chuckled and was soon followed a loud scream of pain from Lucy herself. We have but one single objective remaining to slaughter the lot of you disgusting brats. Natsu is probably already going after Lucy again, Urza mused. He'll be facing Gaji Red Fox, the Iron Dragon Slayer of Phantom Lord. I thought Natsu was one of those dragon guys. Naruto asked. He is a fire dragon slayer, Urza replied. We need to keep moving, Oze should be this way. I'm here, Oze declared as he appeared atop the steps at the end of the room. I never honestly expected you to provide me with this much entertainment. About time the main villain shows his ugly face, Naruto grinned and formed a familiar hand seal. Now can I start fighting for real? Hajukage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto exclaimed as 100 shadow clones filled the room. Charge. He yelled and the clones rushed at the Phantom Lord Guildmaster. Are those physical copies? And so many of them, his magic power must be equal to the master's, Urza thought as the clones attacked. Annoying little fairies, Oze sneered and extended his arm towards the oncoming clone army. Dedo Vivu. A purple seal formed in front of him and a beam of purple energy lanced out, wiping out the clones in a matter of seconds. Wait. Don't just go charging in by yourself. Urza shouted as Naruto himself shot forward. Hamui. Naruto called out as space and time distorted next to Oze's head. That's the spell he used to stop Jupiter, Oze thought as he quickly jumped away to escape the vortex. I've got you now. Naruto yelled as he appeared behind him with a clone at his side and a spinning chakra sphere the size of his chest in hand. He used an S-rank spell as a distraction. Oze thought in surprise. He's stronger, Urza thought as she watched on. Idamura Sengen. Naruto exclaimed as he drove the chakra ball into Oze's back. It sent him flying forward through a support pillar and into the wall with a mighty explosion. Got you. Dedo Vivu. Oze roared back in anger as a beam of darkness lanced out from the dust. Damn, Naruto grunted as the beam hit him head on and blew him into the far wall with an echoing thud and crack. The wall came down a moment later and buried him under the rubble. What an annoying little pest, Oze commented with a sneer. He doesn't even look harmed by Naruto's last attack, Urza thought and narrowed her eyes. I can't worry about Naruto right now, I have to concentrate on Oze or Fairy Tail might be destroyed today. Are you ready to die? Oze asked the irritated girl. Hanso? Kuriha no Yoroi, Urza spoke clearly as black and silver armor materialized over his body. If I'm fighting for those I love, I care not what happens to this body, she declared and lifted her dark purple sword. She shot forward. Such admirable strength of heart, Oze smiled darkly. Yes, you are truly a woman worth killing. Suddenly the room shook and debris started falling around them. Ha ha ha, that dragon does like to rampage, he commented with a chuckle. Looks like Natsu got underestimated, Urza mused. His power is on a level with mine, or perhaps even stronger still. Quit with the modesty, Titania, Oze sneered. Your magical ability is truly magnificent in truth, no other mage has lasted so long against us. I just can't stand the thought of another mage of that level could exist in Makarov's guild. He raised his hand and another seal formed. Dedo Vivu. A beam lanced out and struck her as a dead center in the chest, sending her crashing into the wall. You understand why it is that I never killed Makarov outright. Despair, it was to Shotum despair. How would he feel to open his eyes and find his beloved guild and his beloved comrades all completely destroyed? Ha ha ha, such sorrow he would feel. I will kill that man, only once I have made him know despair and sorrow. I cannot simply kill him. I must make him suffer, suffer, suffer to the very end. How disgusting, Urza gritted out and jumped to the side to evade another blast. Phantom Lord was always the #1 guild in this country. Our magic was unsurpassed, our members' talent was unsurpassed, and our funds were unsurpassed. But then, in the space of a few years, Fairy Tail came to power. Urza and Laxus Mystigan and Gilderts, their names spread as far as my own hometown, and rumors of the salamanders spread throughout the whole country. Before I knew it, these two guilds, Phantom Lord and Fairy Tail, came to represent this country. I just couldn't stand at them, who started out as a shitty, pathetically weak little guild. Are you telling me this war is all because of some pathetic little jealousy? Urza demanded as she shot forward and craslashed with her sword. Kuriha. Jessen. Jealousy? That's not it, Oze denied as he evaded the strike, including the large explosion of energy she released upon its completion. We just wished to make it painfully clear who is truly superior here. For a stupid reason like that? Urza yelled in anger. Edo Vivu. Oze exclaimed, however this time instead of a beam of darkness, he grabbed her and restrained her with his ghostly darkness power. Oh, that guild has been getting on my nerves for a long time, but the trigger for this war was a trivial matter. We received a request to recover the young heiress of the Heartfilia Zabatsu. Lucy? Urza thought in realization. The daughter of one of the wealthiest men in the country had joined Fairy Tail. How great did you have to become before you would be satisfied? If you had free access to the Heartfilia funds, then your power would finally have truly exceeded our own. And that was the one thing I could never forgive. Oze shouted as his darkness squeezed around the redeed. It's pretty damn pathetic of you to get so heated up about who is the best, but what's really shocking is how terrible your information gathering sources are, Urza rasped out. What's that? Oze asked surprised. Lucy ran away from home. Do you think we could use her for money? She lived in a 70,000 jewel rented house. She worked her ass off, just like all the rest of us. She fought with us, laughed with us, cried with us. She's one of the mages of our guild. You're telling me that was the trigger of this war? Lucy, the heiress of the Heartfilia family. The flower can't choose the place where it blooms, and a child can't choose the parent she's born to. What the hell do you think you know about Lucy? Urza yelled in outrage. Well, I guess I'll find that out, Oze mused. Do you really think I'm going to hand her over to her father for free? Oh, I'm going to keep her until they have no money left. I'm going to get my hands on the entire Heartfilia fortune. Damn you. Urza screamed as the darkness around her contracted once more. I wouldn't struggle if you were you. You'll just make it hurt even more. Oze chuckled and raised his hand again to create his seal. Dedo Vivu. A beam of darkness lanced out and shot at the restrained redeed. No. A blur of red appeared between the two as the beam struck with a mighty explosion. What? Oze's eyes widened as the dust cleared. I heard everything. Someone like you. I hate people like you, Naruto said as the dust cleared, revealing him standing with red chakra spiraling around him and Urza being carried in his arms, bridal style. Naruto? Urza asked surprised. What is that power he's using? It feels similar to Marahin and Elfman but worse. Stay back, Naruto told her and set her down behind him. This guy is mine. But Urza started. Believe in me and I promise you I won't lose, Naruto declared. Red chakra exploded from his form, taking the shape of a fox over his form with the 3 swishing tails. What is this feeling? Why is he to make me feel like this? That aura feels dark and full of malice, and yet his words bring warmth to my heart. My soul, Urza thought as she looked up at her blonde savior. I knew you'd come crawling back to me, boy, he heard the QB say in the back of his mind. Your power cannot protect, it can only destroy to protect her. I'll even use your power, Naruto declared to the beast within him. Try and take it from me. I dare you, the QB snarled at him. Fine, Naruto shot forward and disappeared in a burst of speed, reappearing in front of Oze a second later. He slashed with his chakra claws and struck the guild master across his face, sending him crashing back through the wall. "I won't let you hurt her," he roared at his opponent. He can really Urza thought as Oze stood up from the rubble. "Naruto, I will believe in you. I have just one thing to ask." "Name it," Naruto said. "Win." Urza yelled. "QBE." Naruto roared as a fourth tail formed on the chakra shroud. His skin was ripped apart as a black sphere formed around him, and with an explosion of fire, the chakra condensed to such a degree that Naruto's form couldn't be seen anymore. All that remained was a crimson chakra fox with a black mask, wide eyes and four swishing tails. "By the sage, this burns." "Impossible, you're actually conscious." QB yelled in outrage. "Naruto?" Urza asked as she stared at the beast that stood between her and their opponent. "A demon?" Oze gritted his teeth at the sight. "Dedo Vivu." He exclaimed as he unleashed a beam of darkness at the crimson fox. "That won't work." Naruto roared back and brought his arms up to defend. The QB's chakra shot out and created a wall between the two that shrugged off the blast. "How about this then?" Oze yelled as he appeared beside him and slammed his fist into the side of Naruto's head, knocking him back. Almost instantly the red chakra sprouted from his chest and formed a hand, slashing at Oze only for him to quickly pull back. "Damn him, I can't hold this form for much longer," Naruto thought as he felt his body being ripped apart a piece at a time. "Enough," QB said from its cage. "Use the Bijidama and end this." "I want my power back." "What's the Bijidama?" Naruto asked it. "Do I have to do everything myself?" The QB growled out him. "What is he doing?" Oze thought as he watched on. Blue and red orbs of chakra exploded from Naruto's body as his chakra tails converged in front of his mouth. The orbs gathered into a single black sphere and then compressed into a smaller sphere. It dropped into Naruto's mouth and he swallowed it, causing him to feel sick and fall to his hands and knees. His stomach felt like it was going to explode and steam started to leak from his mouth. "Oh dear, contact with such compressed magical energy could even kill me," Oze thought as he ready to dodge. "Amari!" Naruto exclaimed as the chakra sphere exploded from his mouth in a beam of crimson light. "Must dodge," Oze thought as he narrowly evaded the sphere. However, it grazed his side and exploded past him in a blast of directed light. The fortress shook as the rear end of it was literally blown and vaporized by the blast, leaving a long stretch of destruction through the guild fortress. "What inhuman power. Crap, that tastes like throwing up," Naruto grunted as he pushed the QB's chakra back. 3 chakra tails retracted into the shroud and it slowly returned to its original state with only one tail. Naruto's body itself was drenched in his own blood, though his skin seemed to be growing back at an inhuman rate. That power must grant him regenerative abilities, Urza thought as she watched his skin grow back. However, the more power he uses, the greater the damage that power does to his own body. "It looks like you're at your limit," Oze gritted out as he clutched his bleeding side. "If he had landed a direct hit with that spell, he might have killed me." "Damn it, I missed," Naruto grunted in pain as the last of the QB's chakra left him. "This has gone on long enough," a new voice spoke up from the side. "Master?" Urza asked in surprise and relief. "I'll put an end to this," Makarov declared as he appeared in front of both Urza and Naruto. "You wish to cause a cataclysm?" Oze sneered. "If it is necessary for my guild," Makarov responded. "Urza, take your new partner and leave now. I will take it from here." "Understood, master," Urza nodded and grabbed Naruto's arm. "Come on. We can't just leave the old man here alone," Naruto said. "If we stay here, we will just be a burden to master," Urza responded. "We should leave everything to him." Damn, Naruto winced and moved his headband back into place so it covered his Sharingan. Urza hoisted his right arm over her shoulder and supported him as they made their escape. "It has been 6 long years since we last stood face to face like this," Oze chuckled. "Who would have imagined that Fairy Tail could become a guild in that space of time? Ha ha ha, it's just a pile of rubble now, mind. A guild is not a physical building," Makarov declared. "It is the sum of its members. Still, this does make me very happy for 2 of the 10 wizard saints to be able to contest like this to determine whom is superior," Oze laughed. "Those youngsters will go far," Makarov proclaimed as he started charging magic to his hands. "They've done well, they take pride in being part of Fairy Tail." "Dedo Vivu," Oze exclaimed as he unleashed a beam of darkness at Old Mage in front of him. "Kaijin no Jekarin." Makarov countered as a seal formed in front of him and a beam of light shot out, intercepting Oze's attack and beginning a battle of attrition. "What the hell is with this thunderstorm?" Naruto asked upon seeing the sky darken and lightning strike down around them randomly. "That's because the master is fighting without holding back," Urza replied as the two stopped at the edge of the balcony overlooking the water. "It's only a matter of time before master uses that spell." "What jutsu are you talking about?" Naruto asked her. "The spell master knows that is only used as a deterrent to war," Urza answered. "Fairly impressive," Makarov commented. "So much power at such a young age, you have at least earned your place among the 10 wizard saints." Had you chosen to use the power for good and become a model for those still younger than yourself, the world of mages would surely have benefited greatly. Old man, are you preaching to me? Ozai sneered. As is the custom of fairy tales justice system, Makarov began. I shall give you the count of 3, kneel, he ordered. Ozai mocked. 1, Makarov started. I was wondering what nonsense you would spout, but telling me to kneel. Ozai sneered. 2, Makarov continued. You want me to kneel before you, to acknowledge you as the greatest in the kingdom? Stop fooling around. In combat I am your match. Nay, more than that. I am stronger. 3, Makarov finished and charged pure light energy to his hands. You're the ones who should be kneeling before me. Now die. Crumble to dust and vanish from the face of history. Fairy tale. Ozai yelled in outrage. Dedo vivu. That's enough, Makarov said clearly. Imsei no Mritsu. Fairy law. The world was claimed by light. Holy shit. Naruto yelled as he covered his eye. What's that light? That's Master's spell, Urza replied as she too covered her eyes. It's Imsei no Mritsu, a holy light cleansing spell which destroys evil. The mage who invokes this spell can selectively choose their targets. This is his ultimate magic, widely recognized as one of the handful of fable spells. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the light died down a few seconds later. So does that mean we won? Naruto asked. Yes, we've won, we should be getting back, let's go home, Urza sighed as she looked out at the direction where Fairy Tail was. Or at least where it used to be. Earthland. Magnolia Fairy Tail Guild. The building that housed Fairy Tail had been completely destroyed and reduced to nothing but rubble. Man, I had planned on some renovations, but this is a bit much, Makarov sighed at the sight. Master? Lucy asked nervous. Looks like they put you through the ringer as well, Makarov mused. Turn that frown upside down, Lulu-chan, a bandaged Levi said with a smile. We started out as a team and we came out victorious as a team. Truth be told, the guild's new look is growing on me, Droy added. Yeah, a few minor touches and it'll be good as new, Jet agreed. Yup, Riedis nodded. Levi-chan, Riedis, Jet, Droy, Lucy cried. Don't sweat it, okay. Levi smiled back. No, I should be, Lucy started. Everyone here knows the score, Levi cut in. There's no need to beat yourself up over it. It's all good, Lulu-chan. I was completely useless, please forgive my ineptitude, Jet bowed his head in shame. Lucy, every time you laugh, every time you grieve, pieces of those moments become ours as well, Makarov spoke up. That's what it means to be a member of our guild. When a member is on cloud 9, we all float when a member is outraged, we all clench our teeth when a member weeps, we all wipe our eyes, so you have no reason to be riddled with guilt. Because no one here holds you responsible, and why would they? You are, after all, a member of our family, a member of Fairy Tail. He sent her a smile, and that seemed to what broke the dam, because Lucy fell to her knees and openly cried in both happiness and relief. The day wasn't so bad after all, Naruto thought with a smile. Naruto sighed as he placed his hammer down and looked over his work. A week had passed since the war with Phantom Lord, and he had been helping out with the rebuilding of Fairy Tail. Even now his clones were carrying lumber and bricks from one place to another. The others were helping out too, but even with everyone working hard, it would still take at least another week to completely rebuild the guild. The day after the war ended, a legion of Rune Knights, the Mage Council's army head, rounded them up and questioned them on what happened. After everything was said and done, they were told that the council would decide the fate of Fairy Tail. As for Naruto, he had mostly settled in as a member of Fairy Tail, and it seemed like the others in the guild had accepted him, especially after his actions in the war against Phantom Lord. As he continued his work on the rebuilding of the guild, he couldn't help but remember his talk with Urza the day after the war ended. Flashback no jutsu begin. Who are you? Urza questioned. The name is Uzumaki Naruto, the next Hokage, Naruto grinned back. Please, hold the applause. What kind of mage are you? Those abilities you displayed didn't feel like any magic I've ever seen before, Urza questioned further. You could manipulate pure energy and control space and time to a certain degree. And then there is that demonic aura you unleashed. I'm not a mage, Naruto replied. I'm a ninja. A ninja? Urza asked with narrowed eyes. As in the Assassins of Legend. Ya? It came out as question. He'd never really checked to see if this world had ninja or not, but clearly it must have at one time. Though judging by Urza's words, the ninja of this world must have died out long ago if they were referred to as nothing more than legends now. What kind of ninja wears orange? Urza asked, incredulous look. The super awesome ones, Naruto grinned back. You shouldn't underestimate me. Yes, I saw what happened when Ozai did so, Urza commented knowingly. What was that demonic aura you wielded? It felt different from Lullaby and Delaria. There are demons here? Naruto asked back, surprised. Truthfully, he had never heard of any demons other than the Biju back in his world, so he hadn't thought that there were other demons in this one. Of course, Urza nodded. And you didn't answer my question. It's not something I like to talk about, Naruto replied truthfully. Fine, Urza conceded. But I will make one thing clear right now, if you do anything to harm my comrades, then I will deal with you myself, understand? Yeah, Naruto cursed himself for stuttering. This woman was scary as hell, and he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief as she turned and walked away. As he watched her go, he let a smile spread across his lips as her hips swayed from side to side. After a moment of staring, he shook himself and turned away with his face red. What am I doing? Flashback no jutsu end. I like Sakura-chan, he had told himself again. I barely know Urza-chan. Those two are at it again, Murahin smiled, snapping him out of his thoughts when she saw both Natsu and Gray descend into another one of their infamous arguments. They remind me of two fangirls I used to know, Naruto commented. Did they fight all the time too? Murahin asked him. Yup, Naruto nodded. And always over a boy who wouldn't give them the time of day. Hey. A familiar loud voice yelled from the side. If you've got time to play around, hurry up and help. Urza shouted at them as she stood wearing her builder's clothes and carrying a dozen planks of wood on her shoulder. We've got to fix the guild as soon as possible. Even the master is helping, Murahin added, still smiling as Makarov, now a giant many times the size of a normal man, slotted a wooden beam into place. Just another crazy day in Fairy Tail, Naruto grinned. Everyone get back to work. Urza yelled. I wouldn't have it any other way, Naruto sighed again. What about your friends back in that village of yours? QB sneered at the back of his mind. I don't know, Naruto thought sadly. They'll never accept you as one of them, QB said mockingly. You're just a weapon to them, they see you as me, they even sent you here, they abandoned you because they didn't want to risk their own lives to keep you safe. Shut up, Naruto shot back. The truth hurts, doesn't it? QB taunted. You've always used me as a crutch, use my power to fight your battles for you, face it, you're nothing more than a mere fragment of my hatred. I said shut up. Naruto yelled in thought. I don't care what you say. So what if the people of Konoha see you whenever they look at me? I don't care anymore. I love Konoha itself, not the village or the people, but what it represents, the will of fire. Who are you trying to convince? QB mocked. Me or yourself? Are you okay, Naruto-kun? Murahin asked, snapping him out of his thoughts. Yeah, Naruto nodded. I'm fine, he reassured, but Murahin couldn't help but frown as he turned away and continued his work. The next day Lucy had gone back home to confront her father, and after finding out she was gone, Natsu, Gray and Urza went after her. They returned the day after they returned to the now half-finished guild. Everyone. From today onwards we can receive job requests again. Murahin declared from behind the counter. Though this took a long time, everyone should work hard at their jobs. We have jobs. We have jobs. A random member yelled as they all scrambled over to the job board. Why are they so excited? Usually they just fool around and drink, Lucy sighed and shook her head at the sight. I should probably do a mission too, Naruto mused. I need new clothes and a place to live. My jumpsuit is pretty worn out and sleeping in the forest just isn't the same as a real bed. Maybe you should partner with someone and do a mission together, Murahin suggested. Maybe Loki, if he's available. Speaking of which, Loki isn't here, Lucy spoke up. Did you fall into Loki's hands as well? Murahin asked. No, Lucy denied. That it seems he helped me find my keys, so I want to tell him thanks. If I see him I'll pass along your message, Murahin offered. Don't talk about that, you lost the keys. Are the spirits angry? That already isn't just at the level of angry, just thinking about makes my butt hurt, Lucy groaned as she placed her head on the counter. Do you need me to cool it? Gray inquired. Don't pretend to be a gentleman, Lucy said as she turned away. That's sexual harassment. Lucy, let me see your red butt, Happy requested. That's obvious sexual harassment, Lucy shot back. If I make her butt hurt more I wonder what expression Lucy will have, Natsu mused. Are you a devil? Lucy asked in outrage, only for a table to be flung from the side and knock the fire dragon slayer to the ground. You dare say that again, Urza said dangerously as she glared at a big blonde man that sat in front of her. Urza? Lucy muttered in surprise. Then I'll say it more clearly, the blonde man sneered. This guild doesn't need weak bastards. You bastard, Urza said as her glare darkened. To be looked down on by a guild such as Phantom Lord, how embarrassing, I couldn't face anyone, the blonde man continued. Laxus is back, Happy spoke up. That bastard mouths off as soon as he comes back, Gray gritted his teeth at the sight. S-class Laxus? Lucy asked. I'm talking about you, Laxus said as he pointed over at Team Shadowgear. I heard that you guys were beaten up by that Iron Dragon Slayer, speaking of which, what are your names? Who are you guys? You're a disgrace, and don't even get me started on the princess who caused this mess. Shut your mouth, Naruto growled out, catching his attention. What did you say? Laxus asked as he turned and leveled a mocking stare at the young Jinchuriki. I hear you running your mouth off about all the bad things that have happened, but let's get one thing straight, Naruto glared back. You weren't even here for the fight, so you don't have any right to place the blame on others. Don't you know who I am? Laxus sneered. I don't give a shit who you are, Naruto shot back. Nobody insults my friends and gets away with it, especially not some coward who couldn't even be bothered to show up to fight for his own comrades. Naruto Urza muttered as she watched on. You talk big, Laxus chuckled darkly and turned away. When I inherit the guild, you'll be the first to go along with the rest of the weaklings. I will build the strongest guild, a guild that nobody will look down on, history's strongest guild. He laughed as he walked away. What the hell is his problem? Naruto asked once he was gone. And what did he mean by inherit the guild? Lucy asked further. What nonsense was he talking about? It's not really nonsense, Murahin sighed. Because Laxus is the master's flesh and blood grandson. Seriously? Lucy asked in surprise. The old man. Damn, Naruto grunted and turned back to the counter. So if the master retires, the probability of the next master being Laxus is very high, Murahin explained. Someone who looks down on others and abandons their comrades doesn't deserve to be in charge of Fairy Tail, Naruto declared. That's why there's a rumor saying that the master can't retire because of that, Murahin continued. Is he waiting for someone else to take his place? Lucy asked curious. It's just a rumor, Murahin shrugged. In reality, the master hasn't said a word about anything concerning a successor. Sounds like old man Sandaime back in Konoha, Naruto thought. And look how that turned out. That bastard, Natsu growled out. Forget it, Urza told him. It'll be very troublesome if you have relations with that guy. How about this? Want to take up a job? Huh? Natsu asked surprised. Of course, Gray and Lucy should come too, Urza added. Ever since the Eisenwald incident, we keep gathering together. We're like a little team, aren't we? We four, if we add Happy then that makes 5. I really need to start going on missions again, Naruto sighed and turned away. Retire, huh? The guild building has been changed to a new one, Makarov mused as he took a drink of the glass in his hand. If that's the case, the master should be new too. Laxus's way of thinking is a serious problem. Laxus is not possible, Mystigan perhaps. He's reclusive, so no, if that's the case then young Urza is the best choice, but she is too young. Maybe in a few years. And then there is that young Naruto boy that Puryusuka sent to us. He's too inexperienced though, even if he does have the power to rival me. His mind drifted back to the meeting he had with the young man the day after the war ended. Flashback no jutsu begin. So Puryusuka sent you here? Judging by what I saw, you don't seem like a bad kid, Makarov commented. You helped protect the guild and even fought Oze with Urza. I didn't do much, Naruto sighed. All I did was stop that blast they used to attack the guild and fight that Oze guy. I didn't even win. You should be proud of that, Makarov told him. Had you not been there, Urza would have most likely been crippled if not killed outright by that Jupiter cannon, and Oze would have had free reign to do more damage before I could stop him myself. Your determination and sheer dumb luck were nothing to snuff at. If you say so, Naruto shrugged. Anyway, can I join Fairy Tail? Of course, Makarov smiled widely. Mira, could you please go and retrieve the Fairy Tail stamp? Yes, master, Murahin nodded and walked over to one of the counters. Here it is, she said as she walked back with the stamp in hand. Where would you like it? She asked with a bright smile. There on the back of my hand, Naruto answered as he held out his left hand. There you go, Murahin said as she brought the stamp down on the back of his outstretched hand, imprinting the symbol of Fairy Tail on it like a tattoo. Welcome to Fairy Tail, Makarov finished. Flashback no jutsu end. Master, Murahin spoke from below. So you were hiding here. What is it? Makarov asked her. Looks like something happened again, Murahin smiled as she held up a piece of paper. It seems Urza and the gang destroyed half a stretch of road doing their job. The council requests that we compensate for the damages done, master. What's wrong? How can I retire like this? Makarov yelled to the darkened sky. Earthland. East Forest, Puryusuka's house. This seems to be becoming a regular occurrence, Puryusuka commented as she placed a wet towel on the head of a black-haired man lying unconscious on the bed in front of her. Like with the blonde young man Naruto a month earlier, she had sensed another disturbance reminiscent of anema nearby and had checked it. What she found was this black-haired man whom had been bleeding from his mouth and looked like he had been in a fight for his life. Not only that, but upon investigation she had discovered that he was suffering from an unusual illness originating from his eyes, which was strange in itself since he appeared to be blind. She had brought him in and using her vast knowledge, was able to effectively cure the unnamed disease. After she was finished she created a pair of artificial eyes to allow the man to see again based off of the ones he already had. His original eyes seemed to be almost identical to the one she had transplanted into Naruto, and though these ones seemed normal and appeared to have worked for a time before going blind. Hopefully he would regain consciousness soon. Where am I? His harsh and clearly exhausted voice caught her by surprise. By home, Puryusuka replied as she backed away slowly. Water, the man groaned as he slowly sat up with his back against the window. Drink this, Puryusuka said as she pushed a glass of water into his hand. It will make you feel better. Thank you, the man said and gulped down the liquid. I seem to be making a habit of this, Puryusuka commented. You are the second person to be transported within 2 miles of my home. I'm not dead, am I? The man inquired. Most certainly not, Puryusuke replied. You said I was the second, who was the first? The man questioned further. The young man with blonde hair, Puryusuke answered. Naruto Uzumaki, the man said after a moment. Yes, Puryusuke confirmed and narrowed her eyes. What is your name? My name? The man chuckled, almost amused, and looked up as his Mangekyo Sharingan spun wildly. My name is Itachi Uchiha. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.